Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 20 of the TM GolfCast. Can't believe we've made it this far. Episode 20. Let's dive right into it. Today's episode is with the creative content manager at Callaway Golf, AJ Voelpel. We talked to him a few weeks ago about the brand and the culture of Callaway Golf and how they operate. But today we're talking to him about his story and the risks and the opportunities that he had and he took to come to San Diego from New York City. And it's just a really cool story. We talked to him about being a fitter. So let's dive right into it. Episode 20 of the GolfCast with AJ Voelpel.
I do want to talk about your story.
Yeah,
because how did you get in the golf industry?
Yeah.
You lived in New York City. You grew up in New York.
I grew up in New York.
And you started working for the newspaper, correct?
That's right. So my first job out of, I went to Hofstra University, graduating like 2008, I think it was, or 2009, I don't even remember. My first job was to cover a local community on Long Island, West Islip, for a division of AOL.
Okay.
So AOL started these hyper-local news networks, and they're called It was called Patch. I think they're still around though, but AOL invested like $200 million in Patch. What it was just this network of hyper-local websites. So like, what's the town? Farmington? That's the town. Okay, so Farmington might have had a patch. So like you'd go to farmingtonpatch.com, whatever, and like all of a sudden it'd be like a newspaper site with all news, politics, op-eds, classifieds, like just like this whole thing. And like their model was to do it hyper locally. And in college, I was a journalism and media major. So I was used to taking my own photography, shooting my own video, editing my own video, doing my own podcast, jack of all trades type of thing. But like I used to love writing, so I used to write a lot of news. Worked for one of the biggest newspapers in New York, Newsday, which is still a top 10 circulation, I think, in the country. But I didn't love writing news because it was too objective for me. I liked being more subjective, injecting more personality into it. News was way too by the book. It was like who, what, when, where, why, and it was just no fun for me, you know. And then obviously I played golf in high school. I played golf in college, so I was like, I knew that was like ultimately my next step. And then a friend contacted me about a position that was open at the Metropolitan Golf Association, which is in Westchester, and they were looking for someone who did all that, who shot video, who was an editor, who wrote a lot for. They have a award-winning magazine that they do 5 times a year. So they were looking for someone to help oversee that. They wanted somebody to start a digital publication, a digital magazine. So I fit all those. I kind of checked all those boxes, and so I worked with them for years. For I think it was like 3.5 or 4 years or something like that. This is probably in the mid 2010s. So I think it was like 2011 to 2014. And then that's when I got literally a call out of the blue, like out of nowhere. My phone rang, and it was Harry. Harry Arnett was on the other line, and I had known who Harry was from just like social media and Twitter, and kind of like connecting with him there. But he was relatively new as well. I think he was there for a year or something like that. He's got like a year on me. So literally out of the blue, he called me up. He said, hey, I got your name from so-and-so, another person through in the golf industry. That's why the golf industry it might seem big, but it's very small in terms of relationships. Hey, I want to start this position. It's like kind of like an editor-in-chief position with the website. I want a lot of written content. I want a lot of video content. I want someone to be like on-air talent type of person. Just like I want somebody creating content nonstop. Yeah. He's like, that's what I want this position to do. I was like, all right, well, like, based in New York? And they're like, no, California. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going to be a New Yorker for life. Like, no, like none of like my relatives, friends, like everybody's still like in New York City, like northern New Jersey. Like everybody's taking the Long Island Railroad to New York City. Like that's like, my wife lived in New York at the time, actually. She lived on the Upper East Side for 7 years, had a really good job. She wasn't my wife at the time, which is like a curveball, which is like kind of what makes the story so funny. So I was like, all right, I'll go out, like I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So they invited me out to Carlsbad, went out, met the entire group. It was great. Obviously, like, it was my second time ever in California. I'd never been to San Diego before. So obviously, like that, it's not hard to sell somebody on Southern California.
It's not, yeah.
You've been out there.
I was out there. And I keep telling my one friend, I'm like, I want to move. He goes, you don't want to do that.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I do.
I know. So my wife and I both have massive families. We're both, my wife's still Italian, Italian Irish. We have giant families. Like that's just what it is. So we weren't married at the time. We were about to get married. Right when they asked me, my start date was 2 weeks before our wedding.
Oh my gosh.
So they wanted me to go out, train for 2 weeks, come back, get married, go on my honeymoon, and then move out there.
Nice.
So it all happened.
That's crazy.
It all happened crazy. So that's exactly what I did. So first of all, my fiance then at the time, Jess, we were literally going back and forth on this for like 2.5 weeks. We were like, yeah, we're definitely going to do it. We're definitely going to do it. Then we're like, no way we're going to do it. Like, no way we're going to, like, there's no way we could leave all our family, like, and like just start a life out there. Like, we're too close with our family. Like, it's never going to happen. And then the next day we'd be like, but if we're going to do it, now is the time to do it. Like, we're just like getting started. We're just getting married. We literally went back and forth for 2.5 weeks, like on no and yeses. Like, it was very highs and lows. It was very like emotionally draining.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like, I pulled her away from a great job in New York City that she had. She was a media supervisor for a great company. And that's why I love her so much, because she trusts me to make the right calls and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. I went out, I trained for 2 weeks, I accepted the job, went out, trained for 2 weeks, went home, got married in front of all our family on Long Island, went on our honeymoon for a week and a half, and then said, see ya, Jess, moved out on my own. This was in May. And she moved out in October because she had to finish up her job. She couldn't just give 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So she finished out her job for another 7 months. So for a while there, I was living just by myself. Yeah. And then eventually she came and met me. But it's really weird how it all worked out like that. You know what I mean?
Crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, it's I don't regret it for a second.
Absolutely
you know what I mean?
No,
So
that sounds awesome.
yeah, it's been amazing ever since. And
took a bold step, and I think that's what you got to
a-
do in life sometimes. Is there's a lot of risk, but you have to take that step. There's opportunities that
you got to gamble, baby.
Absolutely.
What if I didn't do it? I would still who knows what would happen? But I mean, think about where Callaway is now. I mean, we're now a leader in brand and golf and I'm I always think to myself, I always talk to Jess about it. I'm like, Jess, imagine we didn't move. Imagine if we didn't take that gamble. I think it's going to pay off. I'm having a good time. I hope she's having a great time too. She gets homesick and stuff. But I like to think that it worked out. And I guess we'll obviously see in 10, 20 years if it worked out. But I don't regret it 1 sec. I mean, look at the crew that we work with and the people that we get to talk to, like yourself, this is I wouldn't trade this for any other position in the world,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now
So
you're
funny story.
now expecting
I
a mini golfer.
Crazy. a little boy in May. In May again. May is a weird month that always comes up. Right now we're having a kid out here, which might make things even more difficult for my wife because she gets homesick, and I'm already hearing it from my mother-in-law. I can't believe you guys are having a kid 3,000 miles away. What am I supposed to do? I want to see the kid every day. I'm like, well, you might have to move out here, my parents are giving me crap about it, but my brother and sister have kids and stuff, so my parents have enough grandkids, but my mother-in-law has no grandkids, and she's dying to be around at all times. So yeah, little boy, little golfer. We live right near Goat Hill, so I'm
that's
gonna.
Nice. Yeah, you're moving, right?
Yeah, I'm moving there. Right when I get back, actually, in mid-February, we're moving right next door to Goat Hill, so he'll have a place to grow up and play golf, and
awesome.
I'll take him there all the time. Listen, Ted, this little dude is going to have a golf club in his hand when he's 3 days old.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He comes out of the hospital. He's not even going to be able to grab anything. I'm going to put a golf club or a golf ball in his hands. He might be sick of it by the time he's 2 years old, but he might hate golf, which is totally fine. I don't care. Whatever he eventually likes. But it's crazy. Now that I've never really talked about it.
Yeah.
But now that when I'm talking about it with you, it brings back a lot of hard decisions.
Yeah.
very difficult decisions that I've had to make, being away from family, taking my wife away from her job just for selfishly my job, right? Like, it's like weird, all these like the butterfly effecty type of things that like what leads to things. My job at the MGA, I never would have met the guy who gave my name to Harry Arnett if I didn't work at the MGA, or if I didn't, I forget where I met him the first time. It might have been the PGA show, actually, my first ever PGA show. It might have been through that. Like, it's weird, like, you always have to take advantage of opportunities. Like, I've always been an opportunist. Like, if you see an opportunity, you see somebody that you want to talk to, you see somebody, like, always do that. Like, it's really weird how it all intertwines.
It
like,
is really
everything
weird,
leads to something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Now I'm thinking back to my own life, like,
Right.
man, all those people, I wouldn't be here without some of those people.
that's what I mean. It's all about relationships, right?
Absolutely.
That's literally, and that's like part of my job. Part of my job is like, I'm like relationship guy.
Yeah.
Like, form relationships, form bonds, talk to people, manage and nurture those relationships, because it's worked. It's worked in my favor so far in terms of like just career-wise, but even personal, personal relationships. Like, it's it's funny how one thing always leads to another thing. So it's like, if anybody ever gets like down on themselves or starts like, just like thinking negatively either about career, it's like you could always pave it. You could always change it a little bit, meet new people, put yourself out there on social like you're doing, and that's why we're like the biggest Tad fans, because like, well, one, you're so approachable. Like, you have a lot of very similar characteristics to a lot of the people that work at Callaway, and that's why we love that you're a Callaway guy, because you're approachable, you're friendly, you're an amazing networker. You know what I mean? Like, these are all qualities that a lot of the people at Callaway have, and like, you share those same qualities. And I think that's like why we all connect so well with you. You know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate that. I also don't want to look like the creepy guy either, hanging around. Like,
like we love it. Yeah, we love
you got to
it.
put yourself out there if you want to make connections.
That's it.
But like last year, I know I hung around this booth so much. I was like, I got to get away now. So like this year, I didn't want to hang around so much because I don't want to look like a creepy guy. That hangs
and we all like
around
goof and stuff. Everybody goofs on everybody. We all like, we keep things lighthearted. But yeah, no, dude, it's everybody loves having you around. Everybody would. It's the crazy thing is everybody would always carry a conversation with you if there literally was a million conversations to have.
Yeah.
There's like, you step out there, all of a sudden within 60 seconds there's a million conversations you have. That's why the PJ show is so great, but it has minor flaws in that, like, it's very difficult to like have like in-depth conversations like we are now.
Yeah.
This is actually like, I'm so happy that we're doing this, because rarely do I even get like 30 minutes without like just being dragged into a meeting, dragged into a lot, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So that's why I love this.
Now, one of the questions I have to ask on everyone is, what is the craziest thing you've seen in the industry? Or working at a facility? Like, most of the guys I interview are head pros, green grass, but what is the craziest thing you've seen while working at Callaway or even at a golf course?
That's a great question. I've seen a lot of crazy things. I just saw crazy at our Epic launch event. J-Rod, I mean, this isn't like the craziest thing, but it's something that stands out in my mind. Out of nowhere, J-Rod, Johnny Rodriguez, who used to be our creative director, now manages our events, puts together this whole thing.
Yeah, he put together.
He's a genius. He's literally a genius. Like, you have to be a genius to put this together. Like, I can't give that guy enough credit. So he was at our launch event, helped put our launch event on. We had a lot of like friends of the brand and just content creators and stuff like that there. And out of nowhere, he pulls out two giant heads, cardboard heads. One was of Chad's face, one was of my face, and then he's like, all right, guys, we're splitting up to two teams. Chad, you're picking three people. You're going to hit at AJ's head. AJ, you're hitting at Chad's head. These giant heads. We have all these people there. Like, luckily, I don't get embarrassed, really. Like, you can do anything.
Oh, yeah.
You can tease me, goof on me. I do not care. I have the thickest skin probably in the entire group. That's why I'm the most easy to goof on. But I was like, wait a minute. And like the pictures were from like 5 years ago, so like we looked like babies. Like it was just like
wasn't your picture on a billboard with the baby body behind it?
With baby bodies. I was like, yo, this is so crazy. I was like, of course you would pull this out in front of like all these people. Like Michelle Wee went live video on it.
I remember seeing that.
Bryce Butler, who's a wide receiver for the Dolphins, they went live together, like live broadcasting this competition. I was like, dude, I was like, J-Rod, man, like you never cease to amaze me. But off the top of my head, because my brain is like mush right now, and it's like fresh in my head, that was definitely a very crazy moment for me. But I bet if you give me like 30 minutes, I could come up with something way crazier than that. But it was pretty good though. It was good action, man.
That whole day looked crazy.
Yeah, we got the word out there. A lot of good people there. Again, connecting people.
That's what the golf industry is. You have to connect with people. You'll have so many more opportunities. You have to put yourself out there, and you can't be afraid of that.
Can't be afraid. No, that's why we love your style, man. We love.
I just don't want to look like the creepy guy, like I said.
Dude, you be you, baby. You know
I do mean. I was.
You be you.
Like I said.
That's it. That's it.
I was talking to somebody else the other day about like. Before, like, my family owns a farm.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of kept to myself. And then when I was around other people, I'd be like the hangout guy. I'd love to go out.
Yeah.
And then, but I was like always kind of the farmer at heart. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to have fun I'm going to make the fun side of me be me. Like, that is me. That is who I am, and I love being, I do me. I don't care.
You want to hang out at the booth all day long?
That's what I'll probably end up doing.
Do it, man. Do it, baby. That's you, you know? Yeah. Don't ever not be yourself, you know?
Now, before we go, I do want to say you're doing your own thing, too, with Good Boy Originals.
Yeah.
Those pictures are amazing.
Thank you, man.
The subject is so simple, but yet it is so classic and so good.
Keep it clean.
Yeah,
That's
keep it clean. I think my favorite one is the Arnold Palmer
the
tee
tees.
golf tees.
Yeah.
Those are so nice.
Yeah, so that one was for someone specific. That one was for, I wanted to create something for Amanda, Amanda Balionis, who we work with. She was going through a tough time. And Arnold plays a big role in her life and her family's life. So I wanted to make something very specific for her. I had just gotten these tees, so I was like, oh, this is like a perfect piece. So that was like a one-off piece for her. And that's what I do. They're mostly one-off pieces for different people. So a lot of the times people send me things.
Nice.
Yeah, so people send me their objects. I shoot them. I just do the layouts, design them, frame them, mat them, and then send them back to them. But it's been super fun.
What's up,
man?
How's it going?
You're the special guest on the TAD Podcast Network right here, baby. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're having fun over here. We got two of the heavy hitters that just walked in.
Yeah, we were just talking about
Harry Arnett and Chad Jones Coleman. Oh, Harry's got a big bag of candy over there. Hey, what you got over there? I don't even know what time it is. Good Boy Originals is really fun. It's just like another outlet for to show creativity, provide people with memorable pieces, things that are very meaningful to them. Because as you know, golf courses are some of the most important things in golfers' life. Yeah. So they'll send me objects from their home course or from their club, and they'll ask me to make some framed art for it, hang it up in their office, hang it up in their houses. So it's just been a fun little side project that I work on, for a couple hours a week. But dude, it's great. We got to make you something, man. Yeah. We gotta
I'll send you some teas from Nemacolin. I'll send you something.
Send me some stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're also now, real quick, certified fitter.
That's right.
Certified Callaway fitter.
That's right.
Fitting room podcast guy. He's now fitted. He's now certified.
Well, I only did that so I have a one up on Nate. It was really just like a spiteful move, so I could tell. So Nate, who knows a lot about fitting.
Yeah. He's a gearhead. He is such like a gearhead tinkerer.
Yeah. Oh, completely. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I am 100% going to become certified just because Nate is not certified. So that was
Nate's not certified. I was a little surprised. I'm a little surprised about that. I thought he would be.
Yeah.
But that class looked awesome.
Yeah. It was good. I got a 40 out of 40 on the test.
That's right.
Yeah.
Perfect
I got a 40 out of 40 test. 39 on like the fitting component of it. Yeah. But yeah, Corey Newman and those guys who like run our Master Fitter thing, they're actually doing Master Fitter certifications here.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing like 2 classes of 50 people.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So.
Well, AJ, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being on.
And anytime, buddy.
Alrighty, guys, that's episode 20. Thank you guys for listening. Next week's guest is a head golf professional from New Jersey.
He's a custom guy. We talk a lot about shafts, and we also talk a lot about racing. So that'll be cool. That'll be next week's podcast. Thank you guys for listening to today's. I hope you learned a lot about risk and opportunities and relationships. So I will see you guys next week.